Hi, I'm Stan Pappas, and I'm here today with
Ann Ganguza.
Ann Ganguza, and we are here at the fabulous Croad Vineyards and Winery. We started talking about the grapes that you grow, and the Mourvedre grape and the Grenache are two grapes that are indigenous to this area, but not so much in other parts of California.
Yeah, Rhone varietals.
Rhone varietal.
They were two of the GSMs, Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, found to grow very well in the Paso Robles area. So Paso Robles has become known as a great Rhone varietal area. Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, Petit Syrah, and other Rhone varietals, and they're doing really good here and blending
They
really
sure
good.
are.
They're blending really nicely.
We were waiting around. I got to taste a little bit of your wines earlier, and I was very impressed.
What you're tasting, especially in this area of Paso Robles, which is interesting, Paso Robles has just been approved for 11 sub-appellations.
Right, you told me that
Just
earlier.
today.
And so TTP's just approved that. It's been taken 6 or 7 years for that to happen. So it's exciting. So Paso Robles is actually a big appellation, and by defining 11 sub-appellations, consumers are better able to identify the characteristics and the terroirs of the sub-appellations of Paso Robles. So now, coming from this point on, you'll start to see labels change on Paso Robles wines.
Depending on where they're grown.
Yeah, now it will always have the Paso Robles appellation on there, but you may also see the sub-appellation listed as well. It's going to be really interesting and really good for the consumer.
Exciting.
Yeah,
I think so.
You know, 80% of what's in the bottle is farming. It's all about the vineyard, and luckily, you know, we're blessed with a very good area and good terroir right here. And actually, another really cool thing about our vineyard is that we're 100% dry farmed. Even we just followed up on the 3 driest winters of years in California history.
Doesn't matter to you.
We're picking the last of the vineyard tomorrow. We're picking our Grenache and our Mourvedre, which is the last of it. Mourvedre is always the last to pick. And those vines are just out there and haven't had water put on them for over 6 years. And we only produce about 2.5 tons per acre. So our yield is very low, but it's not about the yield. That's what it's all about. When we bring it in from the field, it's just produces incredible fruit. So we're really happy with it. Yeah.
And you've been here how long now?
I bought this property 10 years ago. The winery is actually 6 years since we've opened the doors, and it was 2 old mobile homes on the property and a whole bunch of weeds. Of course, the first attention was getting the vineyard replanted. So I had to replant 60% of the existing vineyard, and that's when I had a crash course
Yeah,
on
you've never done
On
that.
winemaking.
No, of viticulture and
Yep.
learning what to do. So that's where the advice, you ask a bunch of people, that's where we came up with the Grenache, the Syrah, Mourvedre. We took that opportunity to plant or graft over with those varietals. And so we took that task on first, and then during that process, we looked at getting a use permit for the winery, and that's what we did. It takes about a year and a half to go through that process.
Oh, yeah.
And once that process was going, then we started construction on the winery, and it's a mission style. And so that we really enjoy that. People would really enjoy the architecture of the winery, coupled with the views. And so we'd been open for a while, and because it's just a small boutique winery, very low producer, 2,500, 3,000 cases, which is small as far as wineries go. It's all hands-on. We barrel age everything for about 3 years, actually. So being a small boutique winery, we do small events here, and one of the mobile homes was still, we replaced that with an inn.
With an inn, yes.
And the inn has worked out great. It just couples everything together really
Oh,
good.
that's great. And the inn is relative, a couple
Only
years old.
2 years
Okay.
old on the inn, yeah. And just to see people when they roll up and they capture a little bit of that view and enjoy a glass of wine. The whole theory between small boutique wineries, small events, intimate inn just works, and you couple it with this Paso Robles atmosphere and the approachability and friendliness of Paso Robles. It's really nice to see everyone drive away saying, wow, that's great, and we're coming back. So it's worked out really good.
You've done well.
We're having fun, and that's the main thing.
Absolutely.
Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the wines you have here.
The wines we have lined up here, kind of interesting. Predominantly, we are known for our Zinfandels, our big, bold, fruit-forward Zinfandels, and I blend a lot with Zinfandel. And predominantly, I'm using estate fruit. Anything with our black label on it is 100% estate, and it also has the word pure. And the reason why that is because we're showing the purity of the vineyard. So if I practice minimalistic winemaking practices, basically when people taste that wine, they're tasting the vineyard, and that's what it's all about. A lot of the blends with Paso Robles, and it's allowed us to experiment with not typical blends. One might be the Taranaki, where I'm from in New Zealand, and that's actually a blend between Zinfandel and Mourvedre. And they're totally different characteristics. By dialing in the different percentage of the blend, I can dial in exactly how I want the wine. Because the characteristics of, with the Zin, we have big, bold, fruit-forward reds on the Zin, just fruit-forward. Where the Mourvedre is dialed back, it's always the last one to pick. We just barely get our bricks levels that we want. But when you blend those together, the different characteristics just makes it great for a good wine. So that's a good example of the Taranaki is a Zin Mourvedre blend, which is quite unusual. Yeah.
So, I've noticed that you have a lot of influences obviously from New Zealand and Australia in your wine, and also in the locale here. Essence of everywhere.
Well,
including your wine names too.
Everything. You likely, visitors in the tasting room are likely to end up walking out with a kiwi tattoo, and that's not a kiwi fruit. That's the kiwi. Most people think kiwi. Where did kiwi come from? That's actually the national bird of New Zealand, a kiwi. So we tattoo quite a few people with the temporary tattoos before they leave. But also our wine. All of our blends are named primarily with Maori names, the native people of New Zealand. So we pick names that have meanings to them. One is a GSM, it's called Tofenua. It's pronounced Tofenua. It's a bit of a tough one to say.
Tofenua.
It means Earth's blood, but a good example is because we're dry farming and we get the intensity and low yields. When you pour that wine, it looks like Earth's blood. So that was a good one for that. We have a Riki is a tribal chief, and so all these little names have that. So whenever you see one of our blends, you see a weird-looking name. It's going to be a Maori name that hopefully you can get your tongue around. Whether you're a consumer, whether you're been around wine for a long time, or you're new to wine. There's always something new to learn, and that's the fun thing about wine, and there's no wrong answer.
So what are we drinking here?
Well, it's a nice way to wrap things up and have a little Taranaki where I'm from.
Taranaki.
Right.
And this is a Zin Mourvedre blend.
That's the one you were talking about, the
Yeah,
Zin
so-
Mourvedre blend that you invented.
Well, you want?
Well, maybe not.
Well, here in the Croad bottle we do.
You're right.
But it's a good way to enjoy. So we can enjoy that and try that. Just keep blending and try different blends, and that's the.
So you get one you like.
Yeah, just keep going, and you can't lose with these. So, Taranaki, tribute to my home region. It's Mount Taranaki is there, where we used to be able to ski in the morning and surf in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah, and beautiful area
Lovely.
of New Zealand. So, cheers.
Cheers.
guys.
Cheers.
Now that's my
Oh.
bag, baby.
Really nice.
This is really nice.
You know, it's great that buywine.com is able to bring these experiences that guests and people, visitors to wine country can have, and go to that website and see places that they never would have found.
They're going to learn about you that they might have never known.
Yeah, and there's these little places in wine. That's what wine country is all about. And they can experience that, go to a website and see that, and never know, with these small boutique wineries that are all over the place that people don't hear about. So it's a great way to find them.
Absolutely. And thank you again.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.